According to Tom Lee, it will happen shortly. The administration is going big, Secretary Besson says. Additionally, Brad Garlinghouse recently explained something that piques your curiosity. Hi there, lovely individuals, moneymakers, shalom. We will discuss Bitcoin, XRP, and the cryptocurrency market. All I ask is that you smile at me so that I can radiate those positive feelings. Smith City hits the like button because, well, it's free. I neglected to turn everything off. You're experiencing technical difficulties. Well, let's get started. Secretary Besant will begin our discussion by discussing the Trump administration. Let's listen to it. What are your thoughts? A lot of digital assets. Thus, the Trump administration has prioritized digital assets. Many of these businesses were starved and nearly destroyed by the previous administration, which forced them abroad. Applying the strictest U.S. regulatory and anti-money laundering standards to digital assets, particularly stable coins, is what we aim to achieve. According to projections, stable coins might generate $2 trillion in demand for U.S. treasuries and treasury bills in the near future. To put things into perspective, the current figure is most likely about $300 billion. We discussed the banks this morning, including the 4 large banks, and the possibility that $2 trillion may be coming in the form of stable coins. Discussed that we're entering what might have been a steady coin market. Naturally, Ripple is well known in Japan and the stablecoin space. In recent days, we have discussed the creation of new stablecoins for local currencies in Brazil, Singapore, and other locations. Therefore, it will be fascinating to watch how this entire stablecoin issue plays out. We must, of course, obtain the Genius Act. Although the administration, Congress, and others can be quite optimistic about a proposal, there are some things they are unable to do and must go through the channels. It will be interesting to watch what occurs in the future. I don't know whether you missed the previous video, but YouTube has some errors. It simply says 0. Therefore, I'm unable to tell if you enjoyed the previous video. Utilize. I have no idea what's happening there. I'm not sure how many of you watched, but we discussed Trump's remarks regarding the EU tariffs and the reasons why the markets are slightly retreating. As you can see, markets are somewhat down. XRP is currently down 4% at $2.33 after a slight retreat. At 108,409, Bitcoin is also down about 3%. Ethereum is down 4% as well. XRP is therefore declining along with the rest of the cryptocurrency market. If we look at the daily chart, it's interesting to see how the stochastic RSI moved from the top to almost at the bottom. Additionally, it's a really peculiar movement when considering Bitcoin. It has an elephant-like appearance. I'm not sure. It resembles an elephant in certain ways. What is its English name? Not a hose. Please share your thoughts in the comments area. Keep it G, shall we? His schmeckle is not as you think. The nose, correct? What is its English name? Trunk, I forgot. Thus, you're not required to write. It will be fascinating to see what transpires here over the weekend, as I'm aware that people continue to write in the comment section. Memes are being struck a little bit, as you can see. 15% bread down. The flow key is down 7%, and others around 6%, whereas Dodge. Thus, 7% of meme coins are ape. Thus, meme currencies are currently suffering greatly in this area. Well, and we'll have to wait and see what happens over the weekend. It's a holiday, isn't it? Weekend of Memorial Day. Many of you will be having barbecue meetings without your loved ones there. Thus, there will be very little liquidity from the US, possibly from Europe or Asia. However, many of the movements that take place over the weekend are generally fraudulent. As a result, you can see significant fluctuations on Saturday and Sunday before everything abruptly sells out on Monday. As a result, you must use extreme caution. All right. In the last few days, we have already learned. Yes, I was aware of this. Well, there have been 2 significant instances of how in the last several days we have no influence over the market, which could turn against us at any time. Also, I always advise being prepared and having a plan in place, but that is more for long-term investing than for short-term buying. While having a strategy is necessary, you also need to be incredibly quick and agile. You must reevaluate if day trading, for instance, is for you if you are unable to be on the markets around the clock, which none of us can. This is because day trading is for fighter pilots. It's only the highest percentage of persons are capable of doing it, and not everyone is a fan of that. As you can see, the market completely changed today when Trump abruptly revealed this 50% on you, as I mentioned in the tale I told you about Suic. Furthermore, we were unable to forecast it. Correct. So, once more, it's crucial to keep in mind, as usual, before making an investment, do your own research. This is not financial advice. I have no idea, thus I will never advise you to buy, to hold, or sell. What is happening? Trump, a hack, this and that all happened at once. Therefore, it's quite difficult to foresee what will happen on a daily basis. All right. Is there anyone else who confirms that they do flee? They don't know because they don't. All right. Very, very crucial, huh? This is intriguing, Trump added. They discussed the possibility of imposing a levy on Apple. Since the majority of Samsung items are created in South Korea, he also claims that if they are not made in the United States, they will be subject to a tariff. He threatened to impose the same tariff on iPhones just hours prior. Today is the first day that President Trump has imposed tariffs on particular companies. This will therefore continue to occur. Listen, it appears that everything is great if there is a level playing field. Because, well, Samsung has tariffs, Apple has tariffs, and Chinese companies have tariffs. It simply implies that if the phone isn't built in the United States, it will cost a little more, but at least there is a level playing field. As a result, it may take some time for these phones to become popular in the US. You may experience some discomfort and not be replacing your iPhone annually like most people in the near future. I'm not sure where I live, but phones used to be really pricey in the rest of the world. It slightly decreased after all the Chinese phones were introduced, but Samsung and iPhones are still quite costly in this country. We'll see, we'll see how that turns out. ETFs were just explained by Brad Garlinghouse. Let's listen to what he has to offer. I'm thrilled that I was ignored for years before I ended up on this site, but I'm also wounded. But here I am now. I'm Brad Garlinghouse. Hello. In a minute, this is crypto. 1 minute on the reasons behind the enthusiasm around crypto ETFs. Two major elements, in my opinion, are at play here. The first has been institutional investors for a long time. Direct entry to cryptocurrency has been extremely difficult for investors who mostly trade on Wall Street. They had two choices: self-custody or onboarding with an exchange. For a variety of reasons, some people dislike centralized exchanges. For the first time, institutions were able to trade cryptocurrency directly on Wall Street. There are two reasons why this is an unlock. For funds that were unable to be deposited, whether they be pension funds or endowments. Even mutual funds that were unable to access cryptocurrency, they can now. The second is that it is actually institutionalizing the whole cryptocurrency business. It should come as no surprise, in my opinion, that the Bitcoin ETF reached $1 billion in assets the quickest of any ETF. It also, I believe, passed $10 billion in assets more quickly than anyone else.